Hi, everybody. Grace here for another week of Nutrition Tips with Grace on Tuesdays at noon from the Upper Valley Aquatic Center. And today I want to talk to you all about how to eat healthy when you have no time, which is something I struggle with. I'm sure millions of people struggle with all across the world. It's super busy all the time, even though it seems kind of contradictory since we're all at home. But here we are going to talk about some tips for that. So, first thing I want to talk about is meal prep. So, I'm a huge fan of it, and I think it's a really great mechanism for eating healthy when you lack time. And for those who have never done it before, it can be a little daunting. The simplest way of doing it is just make what you would make when you're making dinner, just make double and then pack the rest up for lunches. And that's how I like to usually start people out. But if you have the time and you're comfortable doing so, you can definitely pick 1 or 2 days a week and spend a couple hours prepping food for the week. And this can be very complex recipes that you want to try out and you can easily make in bulk, or it can be as simple as making a large pot of rice, preferably brown rice, steam, saute, or roast, or cook a ton of vegetables, and then prepare proteins, just grilling chicken or cooking some beans. Or even if you don't have time for that, you can just use a pre-prepared like can of beans or pre-cooked protein, whatever works for your lifestyle. And then you can just easily portion out each day's worth of food and put it away for the rest of the week. So that way, when you're grabbing your lunch for the day, you can just reach into the fridge or the freezer and it's already pre-made and pre-portioned. And it just takes a couple hours to devote to each week. And though it may seem really time consuming in the moment, it will certainly benefit you in the long term. So I want to discuss frozen meals now. 90% of the time, I am not a fan of frozen meals. However, especially in recent years, many brands have come out with healthier, more balanced options that may work for you in a pinch. Um, this is just going to preface this. This is not an everyday thing. You should really only do this when you need to. Like, for example, if you get home super late and you don't have time to cook or don't feel like cooking, but you don't want to just eat a bag of chips, you want to have a real meal. So, frozen meals are often high in sodium and preservatives to improve the taste over time. So, just make sure to read the food label before purchasing. That's kind of the your first thing you should be doing when you're buying these frozen meals. I'm sure you've noticed, in brands often put the most desirable information on their front packaging. So you may see, oh, it has 10 grams of protein. If you turn around, it may have like 50, 60% of your daily sodium intake. So you really want to watch out for that. So you try to look for products that have less than 800 milligrams of sodium in them, and that is about a third of the day's recommended allotment. Less is better, typically with that, but so that's just something to keep in mind of. But you also want to watch the saturated fat content and the calories in these frozen meals. It's really easy to pack a lot of calories in a small meal. So just be aware of that as well. So just to summarize, pick meals that are low sodium, low saturated fat, and have a higher fiber content is also a really great thing. And like I said, they can be pretty caloric, so just try to pick ones that are on the lower side. And if you do buy one that's not enough food for you, but it's still a healthy option, you can just round out the meals by having some fruit or a side salad or some other small side um, with it. And as I mentioned, there are many healthier options sold out there. So and a lot of them are labeled light, so you can stick with the lighter versions. Lean Cuisine, Smart Ones, they all make really good brands, but it's really um, what your taste preference is. And then third and finally, I want to talk about the ready to eat products that are available at stores. I'm thinking of like those pre-prepared options that are usually made on site. That may also be a really good choice for you, especially if you're just want to run into the grocery store and grab something. Like, I've seen lots of different cold salads, and other simple prepared foods that you may find works for you. So, unfortunately, they are a really good choice because they are tend to be homemade, but unfortunately, food labels are not typically placed on them, so it's hard to figure out what exactly is in them. So there may be times when you have to use your best judgment when looking at like calories or fat content, sugar, sodium, all of that. So when in doubt, I try to aim for simpler dishes where there's less room for like hidden ingredients. So if there's like, for example, a potato salad and sushi, I would go for the sushi because immediately I associate potato salad with like the mayonnaise and the higher saturated fat and lots of sodium. Whereas sushi's not always like that. Green salads are often sold and they're really great. Not only are you getting a ton of vegetables, but you can really just see all the ingredients um, and that is a great option as well for those pre-prepared, ready-to-eat grocery store items. So those are my 3 tips about meal prep, frozen meals, and ready-to-eat meals at grocery stores. I hope you find them helpful. I stress this so much, but just beware of the portion sizes of some of these pre-made meals. And even when meal prepping yourself, we could eat healthy all day, but if we're not portioning out our food properly, that could really leave a lot of room for lots of extra calories and other stuff that our bodies don't necessarily need. So often the ready-to-eat sections at grocery stores may have like 2 or 3 servings, so just be mindful of that when you're eating your food. Frozen meals tend to be 1 serving each, but I still encourage you to check. And then with meal prep, it is really hard to portion it yourself. So, and that leaves a lot of room for misjudgments and inaccuracies. You may think a serving size of something is really a half, 1 cup when it's actually half a cup. So do a little research and be honest with yourself when portioning. It doesn't, Google has a lot of answers on portion sizes, and I hope to do something soon, like a more of a demo soon about portion sizing, because I think that's a super important skill just to be able to eyeball it um, so you can get the right amount of food. All right, well, that is all of the information I have for you all. Feel free to comment or email me if you have any other questions or there's topics you want to know about. I'm happy to answer them. I'm hoping to do another food demo really soon. So if you have any suggestions for that, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear it. And that is all. So if there's any questions, you can just leave it in the comments, or you can email me at gscott@uvacswim.org, or stop by the Aquatic Center whenever you're here. All right, I'm going to get going. So thanks, everyone. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye.